All right, so this is the intro to accounting under the Maybe series, and in this video, I'm going to just be talking about uh, kind of the importance of accounting and the overall interview process, and then also the questions that I'm going to cover under accounting here. Right. So overall, I would say out of all the videos of the Maybe series, this is the most important portion, right? I would say that if you do all of the definitely series, all of the probably series, and then you do um, the accounting under the maybe series, you're able to get a lot of value overall in terms of like the amount of time that you spend because you would generally be prepped enough for pretty much any like coffee chat or interview at that point in time, right? But there is a lot to kind of cover under accounting here, right? So I will try to make it relatively simple. Hopefully, you guys kind of understand how the three statements link at this point in time. You also understand the depreciation example. And I would say depreciation in terms of questions that they can ask you, at least as a concept under accounting, is actually quite a bit more difficult than a lot of the other questions. It's just that because it's so common, people have kind of memorized the answer, but I mean, having a really strong understanding of the three financial statements is probably the most important thing, right? Something else that I would really highly encourage is that if you're able to find a three statement model somewhere online, really just play around with it and see like, oh, if I increase revenue, if I purchase an asset, if I write down an asset, how does that look like on the three statements? And I feel like that really helps you pick up some of that intuition as well, right? So let's hop into kind of some of the questions that I'm going to cover. All of these are going to be kind of like walk, oops, walk through the three financial statements type questions, right? So all of these are kind of start with, oh, walk me through the three financial statements if XYZ happens, right? So we're going to talk about revenue and expenses. We're going to talk about accounts receivable and accounts payable. We're going to talk about a sale of inventory. We're going to talk about if you issue stock or you repurchase stock. We're going to be walking through various kind of treatments of debt. We're also going to be talking about dividends. We will also talk about asset purchases, right? This is CapEx. Oops, CapEx. We're going to be talking about asset sales. So at a gain or loss, right? And how that looks like. And this kind of goes hand in hand with like write-ups slash write-downs. Then we're also going to talk about deferred revenue. We're going to talk about what goodwill is, right? And goodwill impairment. Then what PIK interest is and how that looks like. On the three statements, we're going to talk about stock-based compensation. We're going to talk about preferred dividends, what that looks like. And then finally, we're going to be talking about retiring debt at a discount, right? So honestly, it's going to be relatively comprehensive, especially if you have the previous videos kind of down pat at this point. If you're able to go through these and understand how to do these, do a couple of like practice questions. You can kind of prompt ChatGPT, but sometimes it's a little iffy on some of these items. So just look at different examples and kind of change the numbers and see if you're able to calculate them. At the end of the day, many of these questions that they give you are going to be from some form of a document that they have in front of them, because this isn't really a question that comes up pretty often in coffee chats, because most bankers don't like to have like specific questions prepped for coffee chats before going into it, unless like they're like really crazy about like recruiting, right? So I think that's part of the reason why a lot of these questions don't come up as often, right? Because they don't want to come up with an example of goodwill impairment and then give it to you and really be able to track it if they don't have like something in front of them, right? So something else that I want to mention is for all of these, I heard from many people, and this is something that I personally did as well, I always wrote these down on a piece of paper. Even if it was the $10 of depreciation question, I always wrote that on a piece of paper. Now, I didn't ask them for a moment to write it down, right? But I had a notepad next to me and I just simply wrote it down while they were talking, right? And wrote down my solution and walked through them while writing it out, right? This isn't something that you have to kind of commit to memory as well. I originally did that, and then I realized that no banker actually cares about whether you're writing or not. And if they do care, then I mean, at that point in time, hopefully you have these down well enough that you're able to do it without a piece of paper. But honestly, unless it's a really, really um, simple example, I haven't heard of any banker saying that, oh no, like don't write this down. Right. So I think you can take the liberty and go ahead and write it out on a piece of paper. So yeah. And with that, let's hop into accounting.